All right, from the beginning, here we go. I am going to, somebody's trying to get in. I'm sorry, you guys. That's going to be a little bit of a problem. All right, I think we're on here. So going through just kind of a lot of questions that have come at us at the school is how do I prepare for the first day? So I'll cover that quickly. Instructional time and schedules. I sure wish I had more information on schedules for you, but I will touch quickly on that. Some attendance information, important dates, and then you'll have a chance to ask any questions. You can answer them if you want. Ask any questions you may have. So the question, how do we prepare for the first day of school? Parents are asking school supplies, Walmart's having this great sale. It's 49 cents for this and that. And so we wish we had a real clear supply list like we typically do. We don't. Our teachers, we had a meeting today, and our teachers are working on creating a list to just kind of give people the idea of what we think we'll need to get us started. Thinking about just those basic needs, colored pencils, paper, pens, but we'll get those sent out to you here in the next couple weeks, so you have a better idea of what is needed. We also have, we talked today about whiteboards would be great for kids to have at home to practice, but we know we have enough in our building that we can send home with device checkout and stuff. So thinking about if you really want to hit the sales for back to school, those basics, paper, pencils, pens, crayons, those sorts of things, scissors, glue sticks, that stuff. Tomorrow we'll be sending out a parent square message, and it will include the parent resource guide from Edgenuity, which is a good resource. It's actually, I've gone through it both as a parent mind frame and a principal mind, and it's given some good information. So there's the Edgenuity parent resource that will be in a parent square email, as well as Mrs. Sloan will post it on the school website. So she's trying to keep our website really up to date with as much information as we can share. Parent-student orientations, lots of talk about what this could look like virtually and as much in person as we can. We don't have anything scheduled or really planned right now. I feel like once August 31st hits and teachers are technically on duty and in the building virtually, we'll be able to kind of iron out some of that stuff and figure out how we can help get you as parents ready to support your kids and students ready for what school is going to look like this fall. We do have a date set for our device checkout for those iPads and Chromebooks as Wednesday, September 9th. We're going to have, you can come by anytime the office is open, which is 9 to 3. We're also doing a slot in the evening, 6 to 7. But as we like to, at Scotts Mills, we like to do stuff big and we like to see the kids. And so we're going to be talking about how we can make this a chance to, like we did in the spring, where we did a drive-through and teachers were there to wave and possibly pass out materials and such. We don't really kind of know that. That's why we're waiting until September 9th, because we'll have, we've got lots of some new devices. And then we also know teachers will be back at that point, and I'm sure want to see the kids. And so we'll post more information as we get closer to that. So the instructional time, lots of questions about schedules. I know I said last week, and my hope was that this week I could give you a better idea of what the schedules will look like. That was sort of a little bit of a dream, but I was able to share some schedule samples with our teachers today, and so they're having a chance to kind of wrap their minds around what that could look like and what it will look like for students and parents and for them. And so we know that we are required to have 50% or more of the total minutes needs to be teacher facilitated, and 50% or less, or not more than 50% of total minutes is applied learning. So if you think about that synchronous learning, which is like Helen said earlier, if you were already on, is like the live learning. So when your teacher is on the screen in front of you, and then the asynchronous is that learning that's not like it's on the schedule. A teacher might be providing the assignments and the tests, like it states here in the presentation. Students can access that requirement within a flexible time frame. So for example, if the teacher's on live synchronously in the morning and they're all on and they're interacting, and then there's some time after where there's lecture notes posted, or there's a question posted in the Canvas that kids respond to, that would be considered asynchronous. So that is kind of the difference there. Those are tech words, so we're going to say live and recorded, I guess would be the opposite. What does teacher facilitated learning look like? It could be synchronous or asynchronous. It's planned and guided by a licensed teacher. It could include work towards the completion of the Edgenuity modules, like the lessons. It could be on or off-site, so when we can be in the building, it could be that in-building time. Interaction between peers. So if, for example, Mrs. Garrett is doing intervention and she has a guided group of fourth graders working on some reading skills, that would be teacher facilitated. Communication back and forth. If Helen's working with middle school kids, she has a phone call because a student's not getting it. That's a two-way intercommunication that's teacher facilitated. Small groups. And then teachers will have office hours that are posted where students can either phone call in or like do a Google Meet like this so it's communication that's facilitated by the teacher. Applied learning is more those experiences that allow for students to apply the knowledge they've learned in the teacher facilitated time. Working towards completion after the teachers taught it, collaboration between a group of kids are working on a project. They're working on the skills they've already learned, and then any practice activities that are assigned by the teacher. So the difference there. That is the difference there. Attendance. So kind of moving quickly through this, but we'll have a chance to ask questions here in the end. Students are offered at least one connection opportunity each day. And so that can look in a variety of ways, but we'll be offering that. If we have a live recording in the morning, but your family, it's like, this doesn't work in the morning because mom's at work and dad's at work and grandma's home with the kids and she doesn't want to take that on. It's something that you could check it. You can go on to that recording later in the day or in the evening when parent is there to help support and see what's going on. So those connections methods will vary by age. So if you think of a kindergarten student, it might be that the teacher's speaking directly with the parent versus with the 5-year-old. Middle school, it's going to be more the student-led conversations, but we're not going to leave parents out of the loop. And then we also will be using our ed assistants to help make those connections. So when we're looking at some of those intervention groups or extension, working with kids in those peer projects, we will be utilizing our classified staff to help support those. Those real-time connections, live video, I kind of listed a couple different things there. Interactive webinars, live lessons, phone calls, virtual discussions, videos, connection with parent or guardian. Those pre-recorded connections would be, making the progress on an assigned activity, seeing that a student is making progress. Correspondence, if there's emails, that's considered asynchronous connections or pre-recorded or something that's not live. Posting in those virtual classrooms. And then again, with the younger students, those might be more with parents. Attendance also, so the requirement is that students need to be some sort of student interaction during a 24-hour period. So if there's a live, or there's some on Monday, if your student doesn't do anything all day on Monday because something's happening at home or you're out of town or whatnot, but Tuesday morning they're getting on and getting stuff done before 8 a.m., then the teachers will be kind of taking attendance 24 hours after to give families a chance to catch up on what's happening. If a student's absent for 3 consecutive days or like over 5 days total, if this sounds really official, require additional follow-up is established by building process. Like that's the official term. Same thing for students who are making progress. It's just like not working. Our building process is going to be reaching out first to the family and the student and seeing like what's the barrier, how can we help you? Our staff is committed to supporting the students and their families through this. We know it's hard. We know it's not ideal in any way, shape, or form for anyone, but we are going to do our best to help support your family and help provide what you need to make it a meaningful experience for your child or children. Important dates, so say August 31st, teachers return. We've got 2 weeks of professional development to really prepare them and help prepare all of us for Edgenuity and Canvas. September 9th is that device pickup. September 14th, all students beginning the year in Fox Hybrid or Fox Online. October 5th, we'll be knowing if it's going to be, if we're going to be going back in November, and that will be based on the Marion Clackamas County health data. And then if possible, we'll be starting back in the building in a hybrids type setting November 16th. I just about said March. That would be weird. November 16th. So just kind of keeping it, we have a blueprint for reopening that hasn't been revised in any way since we posted on the website. All the schools are on the website right now. As we get closer to November, when we potentially would reopen, then those would be revised and prepared for approval. So that is a quick, I probably went too fast, kind of review. I am going to oh shoot, Robin Welch has been trying to get in. I'm going to go ahead and let me stop sharing my screen. For those of you who, oh gosh. So I was sharing, for those of you who just joined, I was sharing a PowerPoint and I couldn't add you in while I was sharing the PowerPoint. So questions are going to start coming up here, and I am going to rely on Lisa Garrett to moderate those questions to help me. And then Helen, if I say, Helen, it's all you, Helen will write those down and we'll get an answer, and then I'll send those in the FAQs that come out in the Parent Square messages that will come either it probably will come Monday afternoon. So Lisa, do you want to kind of get us rolling?
Yeah. So one of the questions is, I know you already said at the beginning of this presentation, we don't know who's teaching what grades, but do you know the split of grades and who, how are we going to split up the grades? Do you know?
We are, well, at this point, we're planning it will be the same as it was, where we have K1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5. I'm sorry, wait. K, straight kindergarten, first grade, second grade, a third, fourth, and a fourth, fifth, and then our 6, 7, 7, 8 would be in some sort of a blend. That's right now. We're continuing to get information from families who are choosing either not to come back, like they're coming back, but they're like doing a homeschool or they're doing another charter or online option. And really, until we get the majority of that, we also have families that have moved to our, like always in August, we get people moving in or people who moved out unexpectedly, and we don't, so really getting our numbers situated. We know we're not going to get 100%, like we know 100% who's in and who's out, because it always changes a little bit, but the influx right now is a little bit more than normal. And so we kind of want to try to line that up. If we have 4 second graders, our classes are going to look a little bit different. We don't have 4, but I'm just like, so just kind of keeping that in mind, like that's our plan to go with what we've had the last couple of years, but it's going to kind of depend on numbers. And teachers, today when we were talking about schedules and what that could look like, how we're going to use our specialists, and what that's all going to look like, I think is a part of that too. So we'll get that out again with the schedules and all that information as soon as we can.
Okay. And then
question.
Yes,
Okay.
I think so. So right now we don't know. We're going to try to go with our regular splits, but we don't know that for sure. It depends on numbers.
Yes.
Okay. And then there was a question about how can people view this recording? Will there be an email? Will there be a link? How will that happen?
So there'll be a link that will be sent in the Parent Square message that I will send out following this, and then Amanda will post it to the website. So we're going to do like a kind of an area on the website that's going to have like town hall meetings, like sort of all this information.
Okay. And another question was, if we go to hybrid with kids in classes 2 days a week, what happens if the kiddo is sick during one of the days they're supposed to be there? Will those classes be recorded? If not, how are they going to get caught up?
That's a great question that we will have to figure out. Sam, was that you?
That was Carrie Ploss.
Sam was laughing. We have to, that's going to be something we're going to have to figure out. You can't combine cohorts. So if like my kid's sick on, my kid's Tuesday, Thursday, but they're sick on Tuesday, they can't come on Wednesday. So whether it's recorded, like I don't necessarily know how we could do, if that would be feasible, but we'll find a way to help. We're going to have to help support the kids. So whatever, maybe it would be our classified staff on Wednesdays, follow up with kids. Those are some things that we can kind of figure out. So yeah, we'll get that figured out.
Well, and one of the things that, as I was doing webinars today, because we'll have our own page that links we're going to use the same curriculum when we do come back that we're using on the online.
Mm-hmm.
And so it will be linked. The kids will still have that link because when they go, the next day after we've been in class, they'll still have those links to go back and review the information.
Yeah, and that's part of, and that, thanks for bringing that up, Lisa. That's part of why the district went with a program like Edgenuity, because if we go back into school, let's say November, we're like, yes, we can do this, and then like big outbreak happens, we have to be out of school in January. We want to be going back and forth we don't want to be like, if we went from like regular curriculum to online curriculum, I mean, like kind of picture last spring, like it would be probably worse than that. So I think that this is why we're doing that, to keep things consistent. So yes, that would be able to support the kids.
Okay, and then another question, kids cannot be penalized for missing online class. Is that correct, as per what the high school has said?
Yes, so there's very clear guidelines from ODE, and of course, we want to do what's best for kids. We can't penalize them, but I don't know how we penalize them because we don't see them. But like we can't. No, we would. Yeah, like we can't penalize them for not being there. But I think the concern would be if they're not attending and they're not keeping up. Like, how do we support them? Because we don't want to lose them. Like if you have a student who's not connecting, missing a class because they're sick or their family. To me, people are going to be taking vacations because that's reality. But if a student's not keeping up, our bigger concern is how do we support that kid and staying up to date with school? Because when we are back in school, we don't want a student to have missed a year because they're, we have to really, we want them to come back and be as ready for the next grade as possible. Or else Lisa's going to be having to do interventions like from 7 to 7 every day. So we want to help keep kids. So I know the wording is a little bit like structured because it's coming from ODE, but we want to do what we can to help keep kids engaged in school. That's our goal.
Okay. Another question is everyone enrolled in the hybrid unless they were chose something otherwise?
Yep. Yeah, yes. It was automatically hybrid unless you chose online.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Those are, Carrie Drescher asked, did you get the email she sent you?
I did see your name in an email right before this started, so I did not read it yet. Okay. But I will check it as soon as we're done here and respond.
And that's all the questions I believe that I got in the chat box. Anybody else have anything come up that I kind of went through fast, and I know a lot of it's like new, like we're talking like synchronous, asynchronous, and that kind of stuff. We're going to do our best to help, like I said, support you. You have a great staff at Scotts Mills, and they're dedicating a lot of time and energy right now to make this make sense. And we are going to screw up. I know, it's reality. We're going to mess up and we're going to go, oh, that didn't work well. But this is part of it. And we're going to continue to teach our kids a little bit of grace in this, because I know my kids are learning a lot about flexibility and, changing and what happens. And so we're going to get there. We're going to make ourselves really fun shirts when it's all over. Say, we survived something. I'm not sure what it's going to say, but we survived something. So yes, you're going to I got that one, Lisa. Yes, parents, we'll be doing some trainings. I'm going to send you guys in the parent square. I'm going to guess it's going to be Monday just because that's how it is. And I'm going to try to find the answer to a couple of those questions, but there's a Edgenuity parent resource. And if you go on there, it's got some good things. I actually, one was like a day in the life of, it's like you can look at it. There's both as a teacher and as a parent, so you can look at both of that. We'll do some parent trainings, and then we'll also do some student, the teachers will spend time, they're not going to dive into the first math lesson on day one. Sorry, Helen. Think about when you, in the start of the school year, teachers spend the first 1 or 2 weeks on procedures and how we do this, how we do that. So that is going to be the same thing. It's just going to be virtually. So
Yeah, we'll get you trained up so you're the expert. You couldn't even teach the trainings then. Sam, yeah? Anything, did I miss anything? Teachers, did I miss anything we talked about? I don't know. I think the schedule, and I know the teachers want schedules, parents want schedules, I want schedule. That is really important. I just don't want to give out the wrong information. And I don't want to set schedules without the teachers' feedback and input and making sure it's going to work for all. And it's like what's best for kids, what's best for what's happening in this world right now. And so we will get those out to you. But again, we're going to screw up and it's going to change. I promise. We just know that. So we're going to do our best though to help get that to you as soon as possible. At least I actually swiped. There's some from other districts that I swiped that kind of gave example general schedule. So I might try to create something that kind of gives a general idea, as long as you guys don't hold me to it. Anything else? Got a couple staff members, anybody? No. All right. Anything else? Awesome, you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, Helen and Lisa, for your support and keeping me on track. All right, you guys have a good weekend. Thank you.